Evening all, hope you're well. Currently smoking my LCS Teardrop, and in it I'm smoking Jermaine's original Latte mixture. This is a blend which I'd say I've been smoking for the last 6 months now. Really enjoyable blend. Much more oriental forward compared to other Balkan, Latvia, English blends. Depends how you phrase each blend, I guess. But this one is definitely much more oriental forward blend. Well, you can taste the Latvia definitely, but that's more in the background. On the smoke itself, you can taste the Orientals and the Virginia well. A bit of a busy week so far. Currently doing a order for rests, that being cigar rests. So I'm getting through them. It's been doing that most kind of last 3 or 4 days constantly, just getting through them. Unfortunately, they've done, well, not unfortunately, it isn't a bad thing, but the rest are done by hand. So I'll get one just now. There we go. So these rests come in an orange. You can see the sandpit there. This is a rest which, if there's something in that back, that's flaws showed up. So I'm going to keep this one for myself. I don't really want to sell something that's got a flaw like that. But you can see these rests have been commissioned in orange. So that's the stain. That's not the final colour. The rest gets buffed up. I don't think I've got any here in the workshop, the ones that I've finished, but it looks very different once it's been buffed using buffing compound and then finished with countable wax. The same with pipes, same finish. So I've been doing that this week, and then the weather here in Scotland has been fantastic. We've got up to, yesterday it was 3 degrees Celsius, so for Fahrenheit I think that's kind of mid-70s I think. I think yesterday was the best day of the year so far, which for us is 23. We've had a pretty awful May, to be honest. Normally we get a good May, an alright June, and then July can be hit or miss. Whereas this year, May has been awful. It even snowed the first week of May. Been cold and raining all month. And then 1st of June, really hot, so that was good. Just a shame, I was thinking back to last year, to the initial lockdown, and I mean, even through March we had fantastic weather. All through March, May, June, even July was good. If there was any upsides to last year, it was that we had great weather. Got this as a Zippo. This is a Zippo I've been using for maybe the last 5 or 6 months. Redid the wick and flint yesterday. The wick was probably a bit overdue, but I managed to bear with it. And then the flint went yesterday, so I just took it all apart and did both. It worked perfectly well. Although I still prefer to use matches of choice. These matches from Dave's Bike Shop, you won't be able to really compare it to anything. Well, I suppose it's a classic cigarette lighters. I don't smoke cigarettes. This is what I do to burn off the alcoholic stain. So that's Fubing's orange leather dye. I use that. You can see that these matches, they're a decent size. They're a bit longer, maybe 1/4 inch longer than your normal matches, but they do make a difference. I don't know why, but I've got to the point to where I'll simply light every single pipe with a match. I would do the charring light, the second light with a match without fail, and then after that I'll either use on this pipe. This is my Ripstart Flake pipe. Again, fantastic grain, amazing pipe. This one I'll only use matches on. Don't know why. But on every other pipe I'll rotate between a Zippo and the matches. Sorry for the dust. Like I said, we've been working pretty hard this week in the workshop. That is something which is on my plan of things to do, is to build a pipe cabinet. Kind of a proper pipe cabinet. To maybe store 20 pipes maybe. I've got to the point where I think I've added it up and I've worked out that if I have 20 pipes, which I don't have just now, I think I've only got about 9 pipes overall. But if I had 20 pipes, I would be able to get through those 20 pipes at least maybe once a week, or at least once a fortnight. And I would have them all in my weekly or fortnight rotation. Because, like, no offence to people who have massive pipe collections, because people do what they want to do. Personally, for me, I know that I would annoy myself if I had a 100 or 200 pipes in my collection, but I didn't smoke 3/4 of them. That's just something I've always been kind of. If I've bought something, will use it. Although I can imagine I will collect pipes. There's things I will collect which will just sit there, and I will keep. But I think with pipes, it is something that I'm going to try and kind of be strict with myself, trying to not just keep buying and buying until I've got endless amounts. If I build a pipe cabinet out of high quality wood to my own standard, and it fits, say, maximum 20 pipes, I can fill that cabinet one day. And then if I want to buy a new pipe, I then have to get rid of another pipe. Just so I've always got a new rotation of pipes if I'm not smoking one, or instead of just collecting more and more and more, and then as a result neglecting other pipes, I have to then sell one. And that's kind of what I'm doing just now. I'm selling that Bijar and Benteg. And the reason I'm doing that is because I rarely smoke it. I smoke it maybe once a month. And I'd rather that goes on to someone new for someone else to enjoy than for me to not really smoke it. But that's kind of always been me. So that's my plan. As you can see, a lot of dust. it's not actually getting on the pipes, if I'm being honest. The pipes are actually staying kind of dust free. I do try and keep on top of the dust, because you've got this lower mat here, which kind of keeps my smoke in, and the other side of the bench is where I do most of the work by hand, but obviously the dust carries on from here to over here, but obviously I can't help that. So pipe camera on the list of to-dos, hopefully the next few months to get that built. I think also I need to get a tobacco storage. Just now under my workbench, just under where the camera is now, I've got 2 drawers. Bottom drawer is where I keep all my tins, which is full, that drawer, and then the drawer above it is where I keep my jars, which again is pretty much full. They're not massive drawers. I've maybe got 30 or 40 tins in my bottom drawer, then maybe 15 jars in the second. So not a lot of space. Especially for in the cellar, when just now trying to expand my cellar as much as I can. I need as much space as possible, and I just like to kind of have dedicated areas to certain things. So I think if I manage to get a pipe cabinet built, it'd be a nice way to store and house the pipes. And if I get a tobacco storage built, whether that is again another cabinet, much deeper and more substantial cabinet for the tobacco, or whether I go down the route of for the jars anyway. I know James Stumble stores his jars like this, where they're in kind of I think he called them soda crates, to where you can have all his blends lined up, and he just pulls the one out, takes it, puts it back. I really like how that looks. So I'll probably end up doing something similar to that for my jars, and then have a proper cabinet for all my tins and bags of tobacco in the cellar. Yeah, so hopefully doing that over the next few months. Got another few blends on order. 2 from Smoking Pipes. I've watched a good few reviews about them, and I'm just interested. As you can see, I've got a tin of Balkan Sobrani Smoking Mixture, the original. I think that tin's from the early 70s. I've never smoked, obviously, the original. Unfortunately, that tin's empty. So I noticed that Sutliff do a Balkan Sobrani Smoking Mixture match, and they also do a Balkan Sobrani 759 match blends. So I've ordered both of them to try out. They get highly praised. A lot of people say that the 759 match does match to the original 759 from the 70s. And again, a lot of people say that the Balkan Sobrani Smoking Mixture does blend and match quite nicely to the original Balkan Sobrani. I know obviously Jermaine's do their version of Balkan Sobrani now. I've heard, again, that's on my wish list to get to that hopefully this year. But I do know that people also say that although it is obviously a fantastic blend, it's not exactly like the original. But then, even with these matches from Sutliff, at the end of the day, it isn't going to be the original. Like, I'm massively into wine. Obviously wine varies vintage to vintage. If you've got a fantastic vintage, say 1982, any new vintage that comes out today isn't going to be the exact same. It might have some of the same characteristics, same with the tobaccos. They might have some of the same themes and characteristics and nuances of the blends, but they're not going to be the exact same. But I don't have a problem with that. I'm just like, my grandfather used to smoke Balkan Sobrani Mixture, and it'd be nice to try a blend which has been matched as closely as they can to the original mixture, and trying to sample it and see what he used to experience in that blend. I think that'll be interesting. So yeah, got that on the way, and another blend that I've ordered. I don't know why I've kind of went mental recently. Just trying new blends. Is McBaron's HH Latakia Flake. That again gets praised by a lot of people. It's partly on the more sweet side of Latakia, which I like. I like a much sweeter, creamier Latakia. So I've got that on order, and hopefully that will come in the next few weeks, and I'll be able to give that a shot. So I'll sign off there. Hope you're all well. I'll be putting out a few more videos this week. I've got a few topics to talk about. One being filters, which I'm going to talk about next. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that kind of evening pipe chat, and I'll catch you in the next one.